Hey everybody, Hollywood Joe here from Hollywood's World of Sports. Coming to you to talk to you about a interesting topic from this past weekend. This past weekend was the night races at Daytona International Speedway, which is a 4th of July weekend tradition in NASCAR and has been for quite some time. And on Friday night during the Xfinity race, the finish was very controversial in some people's views. Others, people were like, "Well, it's clear as day in the rule book. You can't do it." But I want to address it because I feel like it's a huge part of the races at Daytona and Talladega, and I feel like maybe some changes might need to happen. On the last lap, coming down the final stretch of the Xfinity race Friday night, Kyle Larson and Elliott Sadler were battling out for the lead. Out of nowhere came a young upstart named Justin Haley, who swung around both the Sadler and Larson, and subsequently we thought he won the race. Well, the officials in NASCAR ruled that the pass was illegal because part of his tires were touching below the double yellow line, which ever since 2001, you cannot use the double yellow line at Daytona or Talladega to advance your position. This rule was put in place back after the Daytona 500 in 2001, after Dale Earnhardt Sr. passed away due to the last lap crash. And, for the longest time, this rule has kind of bothered me a little bit. I think some modifications to the rule need to be changed. I think on the straightaways, like in the back stretch and the home stretch where you're coming towards the finish line, I think you should be able to go below the double yellow line to try and advance your position, especially down the final stretch, because it would make for some exciting races. Obviously the banks aren't as steep in the back stretch and the front stretch as they are like turns 1, 2, 3, and 4. Obviously the turns are much steeper, at least from what I've noticed. So I really think that needs to be changed. Now some people will be like, well, the rule's there for safety purposes. The rule's there, to prevent anybody from getting killed. I've had a problem with some of these rules for quite a while now, especially this one. Because here's the thing. And if you're a Dale Earnhardt Sr. fan, you might not like hearing this, and I'm sorry if it offends you, but it needs to be said. The only reason that double yellow line rule was created is because the most popular driver in maybe the entire history of NASCAR was killed because of it. Okay? I didn't see NASCAR give a damn when Neil Bonnet died. I didn't see NASCAR care when Kenny Irwin Jr. died. I didn't see NASCAR care when Adam Petty died. Sure, some drivers were starting to take safety into their own hands, but it never became mandatory until after Dale Sr. died. And I'm sorry, it's been 17 years now. Okay? Safety equipment has improved. You've seen a lot of crazy wrecks that, there's been no fatalities in NASCAR since then. There's been some wild wrecks, and we've seen everybody walk away from them for the most part. I think in the last 17 years, I think I've only seen 3 injuries. Denny Hamlin got hurt in a crash. Eric Amarola broke his back, I believe, in a crash. And Kyle Busch uh, was pretty hurt in the crash. I think he broke one of his legs or ankle or whatever it was. He was hurt, okay? So there's 3 instances in the last 17 years that I can think of. I think the whole not being able to go below the yellow line is hurting the races. I can understand, like I said, maybe through turns 1 and 2 and turns 3 and 4, I don't go below it because those are very, very steep banks in the turns, and that could end up something serious happen. But when you're coming off turn 4 and you're on that home stretch to the finish line, I feel like you should be able to use that double yellow line to get past to try and win the race. As far as I'm concerned, I think Justin Haley got robbed Friday night. It would have been one thing if he would have put his entire car below that double yellow line. Might have had an issue with it because of the rules, but his left side was barely over. Okay, I think it was on right on the yellow lines. I think it maybe might have been an inch below the yellow line. So I really think NASCAR needs to change the rules on this because it's garbage, and it kind of ruined what was an exciting finish for me, anyways. I don't know how the rest of you NASCAR fans feel out there, but Justin Haley having his win taken away ruined the entire finish and ruined the entire race for me. And it was a good race, back and forth. So I really, really think NASCAR needs to reevaluate the double yellow line rule because they only did it because they lost their most popular driver of all time. Like I said, where were they when Neil Bonnet got killed? Where was NASCAR when Kenny Irwin Jr. and Adam Petty got killed? I'm just saying, folks. You might not like my opinion. You might agree with it, but it's kind of how I feel about it, being a diehard NASCAR fan that I've been for over 20 years now. So, just my take on it. But I'd love to hear your thoughts on the ruling and if you think it should be changed at all. So, anyways, for now, be sure to check out HollywoodWorldOfSports.com. Hit us up on the Facebook page, Facebook.com/Hollywood's World of Sports. Always love to hear from you. Until next time, take care, and remember, controversy doesn't come without criticism.